Discover the biblical story of Abraham and Isaac, focusing on faith, obedience, and God's silence in the face of an unexplained command. Today we will explore the moving biblical story of Abraham and Isaac, highlighting the importance of faith, obedience, and trust, even in the most challenging times. Get ready for a narrative full of powerful lessons. Abraham, a man of unshakable faith, is called by God to a supreme test of obedience. In a moment that defies all human logic, God orders Abraham to sacrifice his only son, Isaac, as an act of devotion and blind trust. Faced with this seemingly contradictory divine command, Abraham finds himself faced with an unprecedented moral and spiritual dilemma. His faith is put to the extreme test as he has to deal with the pain and anguish of having to offer his beloved son as a sacrifice to God. At this crucial moment, Abraham faces an internal conflict between paternal love and submission to the divine will, revealing the complexity and depth of his unshakable faith. Abraham, after receiving the divine order to sacrifice his son Isaac, faces a night of deep reflection and anguish. The weight of responsibility and the pain of imminent separation consume him, leading him to question his own limits and understand the depth of the challenge proposed by God. In an intimate dialogue with his wife Sarah, Abraham shares the words that echo in his tormented soul, revealing the inner battle between paternal love and absolute obedience to the Creator. In this moment of loneliness and uncertainty, Abraham seeks strength in the faith that sustained him throughout his journey, preparing himself for the supreme sacrifice with courage and resignation in the face of the unknown. Isaac, a young man full of curiosity and innocence, accompanies his father Abraham to the designated place for the sacrifice. On the way, Isaac observes Abraham's serious face and, with his soft childish voice, asks about the lamb that will be offered to God. His innocent question reveals the purity of his heart and absolute trust in his father. Abraham, with tears in his eyes and a heavy heart, accepts his son's question with tenderness, knowing that he will soon have to reveal the painful truth to him. The dialogue between father and son highlights the deep connection between the two and the difficult mission that Abraham is about to fulfill in obedience to the divine will. In this moment of tenderness and anguish, Isaac demonstrates his confidence in paternal care, without imagining the challenge that is to come. Abraham, in responding to Isaac about the sacrificial lamb, shares with his son the story of how God is a provider in all circumstances. He recalls the moments when God intervened in his life, from the promise of a son in old age to protection in dangerous situations. Abraham highlights that just as God provides for the birds of the air and the lilies of the field, he will also provide the lamb for sacrifice. These words of Abraham reveal not only his confidence in divine provision, but also his desire to transmit this unshakable faith to Isaac, teaching him about the Lord's faithfulness and goodness. Upon arriving at the designated place, Abraham and Isaac are faced with a solemn and imposing scene. Silence hangs in the air, interrupted only by the soft sound of the wind through the trees. Abraham, with firm and determined steps, prepares the altar of sacrifice with care and reverence, while Isaac attentively watches his father's every move. The crackling flames illuminate Abraham's face, highlighting the serenity and resignation in his gaze. Amidst an atmosphere full of emotion and mystery, father and son prepare for the definitive moment of total surrender to God. Abraham's every gesture reflects his unshakable faith and his willingness to obey the divine command, even in the face of the uncertainty and pain that permeate this act of supreme sacrifice. Abraham, with a startled heart and trembling hands, raises the cleaver over Isaac, ready to obey the divine command. Cold sweat runs down his forehead as his eyes fill with tears, reflecting the heartbreaking pain of having to sacrifice his own son in the name of faith. The silence around him is deafening, and Abraham feels the overwhelming weight of responsibility that rests on his shoulders. In an act of total surrender and unquestioning submission, Abraham prepares to consummate the supreme sacrifice, trusting in God's mysterious plan. In this moment of extreme trial, the voice of the Lord's angel resounds in the heavens, interrupting Abraham's fatal gesture and revealing the patriarch's fidelity in the face of the most arduous test of all. Abraham, as he prepares to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac as an act of extreme obedience to God, is surprised by a divine miracle. As he raised the cleaver over Isaac, ready to consummate the sacrifice ordered, a heavenly voice resounds in the place, announcing the provision of a lamb as a substitute. Abraham, astonished and amazed at divine intervention, sees an immaculate white lamb caught by its horns in a nearby bush. With tears in his eyes and overflowing gratitude in his heart, Abraham frees the lamb and offers it as a sacrifice to God in place of his son. In this moment of profound revelation of divine mercy and provision, Abraham and Isaac witness the transformative power of absolute obedience and trust in God. The sacrifice of the lamb symbolizes not only Isaac's redemption from imminent death, but also points to the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ as the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. The story of Abraham and Isaac reveals God's unwavering faithfulness in providing a miraculous solution in the darkest and most challenging times. After the divine intervention that freed Isaac from the sacrifice, Abraham experiences a deep sense of gratitude and reverence before God. He understands that unrestricted obedience and unshakable faith are rewarded by the Lord's faithfulness. When contemplating the lamb offered as a substitute, Abraham is overcome by a deep inner peace and an unshakable certainty that God always fulfills his promises at the perfect time. This transformative experience strengthens Abraham's faith and enables him to face future challenges with courage and confidence in divine sovereignty. The story of Abraham and Isaac highlights the importance of fully trusting in God, even in the most difficult times, as his will is sovereign and his love is eternal. After the miraculous deliverance from the sacrifice, Isaac is taken by a deep reflection on the faith and obedience shown by his father Abraham. He contemplates the lamb offered as a substitute and realizes the weight of the divine call on his family. The shocking experience of almost being sacrificed reveals to Isaac the importance of absolute trust in God, even in the darkest and most challenging moments. The young man, now marked by the intense ordeal, finds comfort in the certainty that his life was spared for a greater purpose, and that his faith was strengthened in the face of the manifestation of divine power. The story of Abraham and Isaac becomes a living testimony of God's faithfulness and redemptive sacrifice that points to the saving work of Christ. Isaac, now renewed in his faith and commitment to the Lord, prepares to follow in the footsteps of his father Abraham on the journey of unwavering obedience and trust. The story of Abraham and Isaac inspires us to reflect on the complexity of faith and obedience, especially in moments when God's silence seems to echo loudest. It is in these periods of apparent divine absence that we are challenged to fully trust in God's goodness and sovereignty, even when his instructions seem contradictory or incomprehensible to our limited eyes. The narrative of Abraham and Isaac reminds us that true faith goes beyond rational understanding and manifests itself in total surrender to the divine plan, regardless of the circumstances. Just as Abraham demonstrated unwavering confidence in obeying God's call, we are invited to walk a path of faith and obedience, trusting that the Lord is in control, even when divine silence seems deafening. May this story inspire us to persevere in the search for genuine faith and unconditional obedience, knowing that God's love for us is eternal and unshakable. If you identified with this incredible journey of faith and obedience, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. I hope you were impacted by the extraordinary story of Abraham and Isaac. Always remember, genuine faith is that which remains firm even in the face of the greatest adversity. Until the next video, peace and good.